Hello and welcome to another episode of the FPL Hangover Podcast, where we raise the bar and lower the tone, all things FPL related. We are coming to you the 28th of November, and it's our first post-international game week post-international game. I'm sorry, Paddy distracted me. He clicked a pen like a spoiled little child, all because I give out to him for fucking making noise as we were about to start the show. Fucking, this is the level of professionalism I'm forced to deal with on a daily basis.
It's good to be back.
It is good to be back. My podcast partner in crime, Paddy. Thank you for that wonderful introduction. But yeah, we got a pretty decent show lined up. We got post game week 13. Like, FPL is still a big pile of misery right now. Hard to stay motivated, but I'm assuming, I just feel like that's what everyone feels like I feel. You know, there's no one. I'm not surrounding myself with winners right now, so I'm happy with that. Speaking of not surrounding myself with winners, how are you getting on, my friend?
God. Yeah, I'm getting on good. Apologies as well to all our listeners and the millions and millions on YouTube for our absence last week. I don't know why we were absent last week.
Would you care to explain, Paddy? Would you?
I don't know. We just never bothered messaging. So I think we were just all deflated.
I think
just
it
totally
was. I was
deflated
like, what's
with,
the fucking point?
FPL life, and we just said fuck yous.
Yeah, I don't know. I mean, I definitely was very unmotivated last week.
I did ring you. I did.
You rang me at fucking 5:45 on a Thursday evening. We don't fucking pod on a Thursday, you gobshite. What's that fucking phone call? You rang me and then didn't even send a message afterwards. So I missed the call like most people do in the 21st
century. And you didn't even message me or ring me back?
No, because I went off and I got lashed.
Oh, fuck you, Will.
Yeah, well, I just did the audacity of you to think I was going to pick the phone up on a Thursday evening like that. Just your classic, I'll drive home from work and I need to chat to someone. So I'll ring everyone at fucking 5:15. I'm not one of your $2 whores.
Yes, you are.
No,
I'll have
not.
You know. And then I was ringing about what are we doing about a pod, like.
Yeah, exactly. I know. And as I said, it was fucking 5:45 on Thursday, and the fucking game week starting on Saturday. You go way out of it.
Oh, fuck you then. Yeah. Anyway, we're back now. That's the main thing. And will we go with your score first, Ger, or do you want to go with mine?
Yeah, I think save yours. That's been a nice kind of aggressive start. I think I need to lay off you a little bit, and we need to calm things down. So we can start with a nice green arrow, maybe cheer the mood up.
Right. So we're starting with you then.
Yeah. Oh yeah. No, I mean, look. I'm here spouting on about misery and FPL hell and stuff, and this week it's not too bad. I meant that more in the grand scheme of things. But yeah, game week 13, look, I'll make it simple, Paddy. I had Anthony Gordon and Jamel Lascelles giving me 20 points. I think the average is 46. So, pretty much bang on, kind of a solid little baby green arrow. Do you know what I mean?
What did you land on overall points-wise?
54 points.
Oh, fuck's sake. That's magic.
It's fine, 54 points. I still have yet to get a fucking clean sheet from Areola. I don't think I've got it. Someone mentioned it on a different show, and I can't remember who it was, but someone said something about not having a clean sheet all year. And I'm starting to think, and I haven't looked, I might not have had a clean sheet from my goalkeeper all year. Between Pickford and Areola, I might have benched Pickford if he had got a clean sheet at the start of the season. I know maybe he got one. So I might have that horrible fucking albatross over my neck now for a while without even realising it until this week. So thanks to whoever fucking said that.
I've had 3 clean sheets all season.
From your goalkeeper?
Yeah, and that first one was in game week 1 with Onana.
Onana, yeah, the boxiest clean sheet considering the penalty.
And that was the one. And then the second one was with Onana in game week 6. He didn't keep one up until game week 6, imagine, from then. And then I got rid of him and I brought in Turner and I got one in game week 8. And that's been it. That's my last clean sheet, game week 8. So they're hard to come by for these goalkeepers.
Yeah, well, not if you fucking have been bouncing on some people have had Johnstone. I think he's been pretty decent if you'd kind of landed on him at the right time. He's had a few clean sheets. But it's just a position that you don't really look at. But I guess that brings us to our first talking point of the episode. And that's the rumour, the heavily touted rumour that Alisson, yeah, exactly.
Yeah, I've whenever we go into international breaks and come back from them, I kind of find it hard to switch immediately back onto FPL. So even like in game week 12, I just wasn't really, tuned in. But I have been starting to get back in, and that was one of the first things I seen, that Alisson may have tweaked the hamstring.
Yeah. Yeah.
That's the word in the street.
That's the word in the street. I think like something like 5 to 6 weeks rumored. Again, not confirmed. Not on the Tuesday.
But what does that affect?
It means that if you're sitting pretty and you don't have much to do, you could like turn Turner, you know, your second. A lot of people have into Kelleher, you know, and it's just a transfer. I mean, like also you could come off Areola, but I think it's important to have someone who's playing. But Kelleher offers a really nice kind of budget option. It's just a transfer and a goalkeeper. You mightn't feel it's worth it. I think you look at Liverpool's next 3 fixtures, and we got the fixtures list up on the screen here, courtesy of Premier Fantasy Tools. Link in the description. But if you're on YouTube, you can check it out and subscribe if you like what you're seeing. But you look at Liverpool's next 3, Paddy. It's Fulham at home, Sheffield United away, and Crystal Palace away. I mean, I think that's 2 out of 3 clean sheets for me.
But here's my question to you: is there somebody out there that doesn't have a life, that is able to make that transfer, like that boring transfer? Like, I mean, because I've got fires all over my team.
Yeah.
I mean, is there somebody out there that can go, is stable enough to go, oh, do you know what? Fuck all transfers to do. I'll just do this Alisson to Kelleher. Because I would love to be able to be in that position, but I mean, there couldn't be.
You just talked about, like, you know, you'd love to be in that position. Do you want to run down your team for the benefit of the audio listeners?
Yeah, well, I got 44 points this week. My goalkeeper, Areola. 3, Trippier, doing fuck all. Gabriel, clean sheet. Udogie, 1. Cash, 0. My transfer this week was Matoma to Palmer. Palmer, 2. Martinelli, 2. My only shining light, a Captain Saka, 16 points. Luis Diaz, 1 pointer. Haaland, 7. And Watkins, 5. So, and my bench is just abysmal. Turner, who's done now. Højlund didn't start. I wouldn't mind. I was kind of hanging on to Højlund, hoping, like, you know, the Everton was a nice fixture. But there was so many other fires. Like, I had to get rid of Matoma and stuff. I was going to even bank a transfer. I have Pellistri in there. Seen Ten Hag interesting comments today saying that Pellistri has to become a starter in the team. He has to push on. So, you know, he's a really cheap, like, fodder. So if he starts getting games, that would be interesting. Lamptey, 1 point as well on my bench. So, you know, there's surgery to be had there. And we were talking off camera, and there could be some major surgery happening after these Champions League games and Europa League.
Yeah, but, like, let's not forget what we said off camera, or what I also said off camera, in the sense that, like, for the next couple of weeks, when you consider, maybe I didn't kind of get to this point, but I was thinking about it after we finished speaking about it, and, like, so game week 14, right around the corner, Saturday kickoff. Game week fucking 15, like, when's that? Isn't that just right after that? So game week 15 is the Tuesday. Do you know what I mean? So game week, look, to put it this way, game week 14 ends on Sunday. Yeah. And game week 15 starts on Tuesday. Game week 15 ends on Thursday. Game week 16 starts on Saturday. So massive. See the pattern here? Yeah, midweek fixtures, massive fucking rotation. Huge. And not only that, game week 16 finishes on Sunday. And game week 17, then that's the next one where you get a bit of a break. Yeah, it's just like, it's basically one round of midweek fixtures, but when you take into consideration, like, you know, Champions League, and it's not like these fucking lads have been, you know, standing around wiping their arse for the last couple of weeks. They've been all doing international fixtures and stuff. You're going to have rotation, and I'm looking at your team and I'm going, like, do you really want to, because surgery is going to cost a bit for you. Do you know what I mean? Like, it's not like you got a wildcard lying there. Do you really want to spend money going into this kind of relatively unsafe period, rotation wise? Do you mean, like, do I want to spend hits? Points. Yeah, hits, sorry. Yeah. Well, I was going to, like, before we spoke off camera and you were telling me all sorts of things about your pokey bum wanks and all, I was thinking about just doing minor surgery this week. Yeah. Like, I wasn't thinking about a -4, but once you got me all excited and my tail wagging about, you know, Salahs and fucking whatnot, like, and I saw let's kind of just, again, for those who didn't hear us chatting, obviously, because we had way too long of an FPL conversation we had a podcast off air, yeah. As I said, we haven't spoken in 2 weeks, so when we were talking, it just kind of naturally started flowing. But I was saying, looking at your team, and again, for the audio listeners, back four, Trippier, Gabriel, Udogie, Cash. So, pretty, like a really solid back four, a lot of money in there. Midfield, Palmer, Martinelli, Saka, Luis Diaz, and then fodder is Palestri, and then up front, Haaland, Watkins, with Højlund on the bench as well. So, I mean, Martinelli, Luis Diaz, Palmer, that's a strange midfield to me. Do you know, that kind of way? And especially considering Palestri's on the bench. And I just basically said, like, of the three big hitters at the moment, the likes of your son, Salah and Haaland, you've got just Haaland. So would you not be inclined to maybe start putting a bit of kind of shape, like heavy hitters in your team, and then just build around them, and then start taking swings around them? And that's where we got the -4 out of.
Yeah, that's where we got the -4. But then before we went into the -4, I was just kind of thinking about like going into this game week, with Diaz, depending on like my time. The Fires, not like, well, they're players that I'm definitely looking to move on. Are Martinelli, Diaz, and Højlund. Okay, yeah. Man United's fixtures are scrap. Coming up, United aren't even that great, and Højlund isn't performing in the Premier League. No fault to his own, but what I was thinking about, like, Luis Diaz didn't really start the last game. He came on. He's been coming on. Depending on the Europa League fixture, how many minutes he gets, I think this would be a great game for Luis Diaz to shine in against Fulham. So I wouldn't be mind keeping him for that game.
Yeah.
I also I'm liking the look of Isak. With Wilson out, after United, Newcastle have
Let's kind of stick on the one player, and we can jump onto Isak, just because it's a good point, Luis Diaz.
Yeah.
So I'm looking at Diaz, and I think you're right. I think based on what we just said about rotation and the fact that he hasn't started a few, I would say out of Fulham, Sheffield United, and Crystal Palace, he's guaranteed to start one, and you'd hope that start comes between 14 and 15. So considering that tight turnaround, like, I'm with you. I hold him right now, and I see what the fuck he does in the next two matches, you know, that kind of way, and then think about maybe game week 16.
Yeah,
looking at what you can do with him. So I'm with you. And then you were saying you were looking at the likes of Isak. So I guess you're looking then to go from Højlund.
Yeah, Højlund to Isak, but it's pointless to do that this week when they're playing each other. Do you know what I mean? I don't think it's just a sideways move. And then skipping on over quickly to Martinelli, that's another one. But with Arsenal's fixtures now, Wolves, which will be maybe tricky enough, but still would expect them to score. My dogs go mad there, by the way. Then they have Luton next after that. So
it's hard to move him on too.
Yeah, it's just not an immediate. That's why I'm kind of maybe gone off the idea of the -4 to bring in the big hitter Salah or Son for these lads. But if I roll the transfer this week, I think I would feel better about maybe making one transfer and keeping, like, just having that safety net transfer for until I, because this is going into the heavy period, and I think, like you just said, these players, fringe-ish players, this is where they are going to get their chance.
I'm with you. I'm looking at your team now, and I'm going like, oh, it's easy for me to sit here and say you should have two of Salah, Son, and Haaland, but I think considering that rotation period, this actually could bear some, fruit. You could reap the benefits from having this kind of mildly risky team, in the sense of Luis Diaz. Like, I suppose he's the only one real rotation when Højlund's got that injury at the moment. So in terms of your starters, but
Højlund's back though.
He is back, yeah, exactly. And Martinelli, I don't know if you'd say he's a bit of a rotation risk around this time, just because what Trossard offers and the fact that they do have like a big rake of attacking options. So I do think Martinelli will get a rest at some stage, but again, you can't really cater for that kind of stuff. So I mean, I've gone from saying you need fucking Salah in -4, Diaz, Martinelli out, and bring in Gordon and Salah to maybe just fucking stick with this for a while.
I mean, I'm kind of in the shit as it is. I think that I'm just, knowing my luck, I would go and make this -4, and then the two lads would go off. Like, Martinelli hasn't been by no means doing the same things as he was last year. Like he hasn't had a return since game week 8.
Well, you captained Saka this week.
Huh?
You captained Saka this week.
Yeah, I got me 16 points.
That's a
I got
good
me
shout.
assist off.
Boom.
Yeah. That was the thing as well. I was trying to, because I'm kind of, I am in the corner.
Yeah, a little bit.
So I'm going to go out swinging. Do you know that kind of way? I mean, when you're backed in, like Captain and Hallen wasn't going to do me many favors if it didn't, come off. And I'm that far back. I thought, fuck it, I might as well start trying a little bits of things.
I think so.
When the opportunity presents itself, like in moments where a Saka captain wasn't a bad shout, or a son like yourself captain wasn't a bad shout, because I think more and more people aren't really going. Just like Hallen doesn't seem to be the perma captain every week. I
think there's lots of teams doing really well. I think that's honestly what we got. Like, you just got to look at the league table to see how close it is in the top, 6-7 teams. Do you know what I mean? Like, so that means there's lots of FPL options, and that means captaincy options. I mean, Salah has put it up to Haaland. I'd say probably is.
I think he's a point ahead of him
in the overall score. There you go. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
So captaincy wise, like, I think Salah's basically matched him, and the two of them matched each other. You had like a couple of good Sun weeks. No, I think it's about, like, you do want to keep swinging, as you say, but I think it's more like, there's still 20 fucking 5 game weeks left or something. Do you know?
Yeah.
So there's a lot of swinging to go. You know what I mean? I'm like, as I said to you as well off air, I was like, in terms of overall ranks and stuff, just by playing this fucking game to the bitter end with a level head, and have a bit of fun, of course, but like just by playing it with a level head all the way to the bitter end, you're going to just naturally move up the ranks because people just stop playing.
Mm-hmm.
Do you know?
Yeah, that's true. People get fucked off of this game usually, and they just quit early.
Yeah.
And another thing, just looking at my team, if I was like gun to my head and I had to make one transfer this week,
who would it be?
I would probably remove Højlund for Nunes.
So you're back to Nunes. That's gonna haunt you. That's gonna haunt you.
I wish I never got rid of him.
Yeah, that one move has fucked you for the last couple of weeks. Not that like Nunes has been like fucking.
Yeah, but still, it was points.
It was a few points, and there was the transfer as well that you could have used. I think it was also like fucking a budget issue, but I can't remember. But you would go Højlund to Nunes. You do have to cash that because you have 3 points, fucking 8,000 million in your bank. United's fixtures. Yeah, Newcastle away, Chelsea at home, Bournemouth at home, Liverpool away. Kind of rough next 4.
Yeah, I don't fancy it.
I don't fancy any of them. I'd be lucky to get fucking points at Bournemouth at this stage, but yeah.
And I would feel that having Nunes, I'm nicely set with the Liverpool coverage for the next 3: Fulham, Sheffield, and Palace. Do you know what I mean? Like, as well. And then I could go on.
I think he's also getting rotated. He is. He's not playing all those games.
But he doesn't seem to need the full 90.
What about Højlund to fucking 4.5, and can you can you not just turn Palestri into Mbumo this week?
And then who do I bench?
Who do you bench? Fucking Udogie or Cash. Udogie's against City, isn't he?
Udogie's already benched.
Who's on your bench?
Udogie, Palestri, Lamptey.
Well, take Højlund off.
Fuck, I like starting a striker.
Away to Newcastle. A guy who could play. Well, okay. But answer the question. Could you just go like Palestri to Mbumo?
I probably could, yeah.
Sure, there's fucking... that's your team already looking more solid. And you keep your Luis Diaz and Martinelli kind of differentials. I'm just saying that's an option too. Do you know? Yeah. I mean, I've made my transfer this week. Spoiler alert. I did just go... So, I didn't really finish talking about my own team, but essentially did Mitoma to fucking Eze last week, and that's obviously blown up in my face. As is, I could read you off a list of players. I sat down, Paddy, and I counted out the amount of players I've had this season that I've got injured, transfer out injury, like, and I decided it was too long to read on air because I'd have to introduce it and then speak through it.
Jesus
and
Christ.
I was like, no, I'm just listing it. It's honestly like 15 players or something like that. And I mean, it's just a crazy fucking run of injuries, and it's the same with Eze. Got him in home or fucking fixture against Luton. I think a decent enough one this week. I was kind of just maybe go a little bit differential and try get ahead of the curve. Instantly fucking out, injured. So I made a decision then on Monday morning when the dust had settled. I just went straight from Eze to Mbumo. I had the cash on the dot.
Yeah.
I was like, boom.
Strange move now, I thought. It's not a very Ger move. To Eze, what attracted you there? Was Eze?
Well, he it was a fucking way to Luton.
Oh, yeah, Luton.
I was like, take a chance. Maybe fucking Crystal Palace hammer him. The kind of way? Or maybe there's just goals in the game,
Yeah. Yeah.
But either way, that's my transfer made this week. And I'm obviously going to be pro Mbumo. So you do have the option to just...
So that's who you brought in. You brought in who? Eze?
Got him out already. Brought him in last week because we didn't do...
Brought him out and you brought in Mbumo? Yeah. Spoiler alert, I've just brought in Mbumo on pod.
You just did Palestra to Mbumo?
I just did it.
Boom. How's your team look? You looking at it?
It's cracking team now.
There you go. Fixed. Easy.
Well, Palmer, Martinelli, Saka, Diaz, and Mbumo, Watkins, Haaland. Boom.
There you go. Now,
money in the bank and all.
Yeah. I guess that brings us on to the bigger picture stuff and game week 18, the blank fixture for City and Brentford. How are you set for that? Now that you just brought an extra Brentford
player.
Just
brought in an extra blank player. Yeah. Now it's a bit away. I'm okay. I've only got Haaland and I've got Mbumo. Also we were speaking off air and we were like, Haaland's enough.
Yeah.
From City.
Yeah. I think so, from City at the moment. The likes of Alvarez and Foden, I think they're luxury buys. Doku can be included in there as well. I'm like, yeah, if you have the fucking funds and maybe you're just looking to play the game a bit different or kind of a differential, I think they're still there. I don't know the ownership of Alvarez, but Alvarez and Haaland can't be that fucking high together. So even just owning the two of them, but yeah. I think considering the blank, I'd be happy to just be shipping off. For me.
No, totally. Yeah, no, that makes sense. How are you fixed for?
Same as you. Brought in a blanker this week, and but I'm like fine. The only thing I would say,
we've only got two. We've only got two blankers.
Yeah, but I'm looking at your. Was it Lamptey and Hoyland? I'd be obviously Lamptey needs with that blank coming in now that you've brought in the likes of Mbuemo. That's someone I'd be targeting to fix in the next couple of weeks. Turn that for even if it's just like a ball dock, or if we look at game week 16, the blank, isn't it?
Mhm.
No, it's not. It's 18. Yeah. So game week 18. Sheffield United, Villa, so Baldock, I'd be ruling him out. Lascelles, I wonder is he still going to have his place by then? I wonder if this whole fucking Botman injury is a bit of a mystery at the moment. But fucking hell, 7 points scored last week, and then in game week 18 has Luton away, so really good fixture for him. So there you go. That's a 4 million player just playing that week. So, I'd be looking at that's the next spot is if you have the likes of Haaland and Mbumo, just make sure your fucking cheap players are playing because there's so many options at the moment, cheap wise. We just talked about Kelleher. We're talking about Baldock. I'm running through them in my head. I'm going Lascelles. I know there's at least another one or two cut price options here. And then we've got Chelsea's fixture turning game week 16.
There's plenty of budget options there, yeah.
Yeah, come game week 16, you're going to unlock the likes of... Because we was it before the air? We had such a conversation off air, I can't remember which is which. But when did we speak about... it was when we were talking about Kelleher. So essentially, we were talking about, it's a short-term fix. You keep Areola there. But, if you didn't want to do the Kelleher thing... you didn't have the space now, in a couple of weeks you could be looking at the likes of Robert Sanchez, who's a 4.5, 4.6.
That's another one.
Do you know what I mean? Just a straight up starter, starting every fucking week, and it's a pat into Chelsea's defence because come game week 16, Paddy, they go hard, as the youth say today.
Yeah.
Chelsea have Everton, Sheffield United, Wolves, Crystal Palace, Luton, Fulham, between 16 and 21. All bottom.
Well, I'm quite happy to have my little Palmer in there now.
Yeah, again, there's budget options all over the place this season. And between that and fucking so many teams, doing well, It's just there's so many options. I think it's why it's kind of crazy. So big picture, Paddy. I think it's good to be. It's good to be fucking. Having to crack with it all the same. Do you know what I mean? Because it's like
a bit of fun too. Yeah.
Do you know what I mean?
I mean, like you can, as shit as this team is. I mean, I'm still enjoying the battle now, the fight back. Do you know what I mean? Because like I've told you, I'm going to be one of them guys to go post up on X later on. This could be you. Don't worry. All the red arrows. Wait, and then I'm way up and I end up winning FPL.
It's
from
a true underdog story.
Yeah. This is the beginning. This Embuemo transfer is the turnaround.
All right. Before we head on out of here, Paddy, I think we should address the small matter of the FPL Hangover Mini-League.
Oh yeah.
So tell me, have you got it up in front of you? Have you prepped?
I have it up in front of me. Yes. So just give me one little second.
This league, ladies and gentlemen, is brought to you courtesy of Kinnerger Brewing in County Galway. I was going to say County Donegal. So local craft beer brewers. Check them out. You can order pretty much all over the place. They're in Tesco's. I'm an advocate of beer, and I'm definitely happy that they are sponsoring the prizes. I was wondering where I was going with that. I was like, what's that?
The Winterland beer is out now as well. It's a beautiful coffee vanilla stout.
See, you're just around the fucking corner, so you can just like drive up to the fucking...
Yeah, I know, up to the brewery and just put my mouth under the barrel. So, yeah, like you said, Ger, fantastic place and fantastic prizes. We had our last manager of the month, Donal, a Limerick man. He won the swag. So, well done to Donal on our last manager of the month. So, I'll just get into it here, will I, Ger?
Do, Paddy. And I am going to shock you here and tell you that we have another manager of the month today.
What? Really? Already?
Already ready. November's over, man.
Holy shit. Who's the manager of the month?
Well, I'll let you read out the league as it stands. And or do you want me to read out the league? You read out the league and I'll talk about the manager of the month because I have that prepped.
Right, okay. So, the top 10... no change at the top two. Donal O'Regan stays at number 1 and Clator at number 2. Then we have Glenn Judkins moving into 3rd place. Antoinette Buckley moving into 4th. We have Gavin O'Donnell dropping 2 places down to 5th. Belgian Brudda dropping down to 6th. Dan McManus is up 4 places and into 7th. And Timmy O'Connor is up 10 places and finds himself inside the top 10 in 8th place. Aaron Beattie, no change at 9. And Peter Dobson drops from 7th down to 10th. That is our top 10. And would you believe Peter Dobson, Gavin O'Donnell, just those two. I know those two people.
Finally, we're getting some of these fucking these paddy plants out of the top 10 in the league.
Yeah. Do you want to announce? Do you want to do that the manager of the month at the end of this segment then?
Yeah, I will.
Okay, so because I'm so excited to see the manager of the week. I coach an under 9s team, and the manager is. I'm a club. Or the coach, and the manager is Erin Caldwell, and she is our manager of the week. 75 points, and I just got her into this game on the bus on the way to a football match before the season started, telling her, "Oh, it's a great game, you should try it." And she is the she's actually beaten me, and she's now 75 points, manager of the week in the FPL Hangover Mini-League. 295 managers, I think we have in this.
I'm sorry, Erin, you've peaked too soon.
Yeah,
manager of the week.
So. She's also had the biggest rise, going up 70 places as well. So well done, Erin. That is phenomenal. Let me see as well. I just want to check to see who our Walk of Shame is.
All right.
One of my favorites. The Walk of Shame this week goes to Danny Abbott, who, Jesus, we would have spoken about Danny Abbott quite a bit. 24 points this week to Danny. That's a nightmare. He dropped 20 places, but not as many as Adam O'Toole, who dropped 71 places with only 26 points. So unlucky there, guys. Unlucky. I want to go over here now and have we look at the bench wanker. And the bench wanker this week goes to Stephen De Jong and James Trolley and Connor Kelly. Oh my God, there's too many to name. 9 points.
9 points is the bench wanker.
Yeah, that's surprising. I thought it would be more.
It's just a low week, yeah.
Yeah, that's just the cut of the week. We'll move into our transfer geniuses. And our transfer genius this week goes to another fella I know, Corey Callan. I was in holidays with him there a couple of months ago. Corey banked himself 16 points. He made 2 transfers, Trippier to Zinchenko and Madison to Saka. So, well done, Corey.
Yep.
Nice transfers. And the Sack the Scout goes to Fran Dever, who lost 11 points with 1 transfer, done Hal Pedro to Archer, and the same for Farron Collins, who done the same transfer, Hal Pedro to Edward, minus 11. So that is our statistics for the FPL Hangover Mini-League. Who is the manager of the month, Ger?
All right, before we get into the manager of the month, I do want to give a shout out to a long-time listener and a big friend of the show, Mr. Glenn Scully, who he played his wildcard this week.
Wow.
And yeah, he plays wildcard game week 13. Unlucky for some, not for Glenn. I just wanted to give a shout out because essentially he paid me. He sent me.
So we're doing that now.
We're doing that now. Okay. We don't call it super chats.
Yeah.
We call it super envelopes, and people just post us money.
Love that.
Because it's you know, it's under the table. Taxman can't get it.
Yeah.
Taxman can't get it. No paper trail.
Fuck yeah.
But yeah, big shout out to Glenn. And now let's bring it over to the FPL Hangover Podcast Mini-League Manager of the Month. Congratulations to David Ryan, manager of the Loafers. You finished as the top manager in the month of November. How does that make you feel, Paddy?
What's his name? David Loafer?
David Loafer.
Wow.
He manages the Ryans.
And
no, I'm kidding. His name is David Ryan. He manages the Loafers.
Where's he from?
I think he's a dub. He's Eastern anyway.
He's an Irishman anyway, so
he's an Irishman.
We don't have to we have to pay the postage. That's all right.
We don't have to pay the postage.
we
got lucky this one.
This well.
Oh yeah, just another pint in the back pocket there.
Congratulations.
Yeah, but big shout out, David. Well done, manager of the month prize. Get in touch with us. You can send me a DM on Twitter at FPL Hangover. You can reach out to Paddy at FPL Viking _ if you want to let us know how to send you your manager of the month package. But there is a Kinniger set on its way to you. Isn't that how they do it, Paddy?
Yeah,
on its way to you.
He'll need, I'm not familiar with this man, so he will need to get in touch with us. And we will get it sorted.
Excellent. Okay, that brings the Hangover update, Mini-League update to an end. And thus nearly the show, Paddy. Have you got any final thoughts for game week 14?
I want to, just before we finish up, I want to go through our little, that little refresher, what we're doing with the team, who's the captain and stuff. So we'll start with you, Ger. Who is your captain going to be this week? And who do you think would be a good captaincy shout?
My captain, so I have my team on the screen for the YouTubers.
Okay.
The ones that have already subscribed. Thank you very much. I'm actually pretty happy with how my team looks this week. So as I said, I already did my transfer and injured Eze out to Mbuemo. So back three, we haven't talked about Matty Cash. But he's in my back three for next week alongside Taylor from Burnley, who is at home to Sheffield United, and Tsimikas at home to Fulham.
Geez, that's a real makeshift back three, isn't it?
It is. And I have Anderson on my bench away to West Ham, which I have no issue playing, and Lascelles at home to Man United, which is arguably probably should be in my starting 11. I can see
getting you the big points and everything last week. You've just fucking dropped them like a hot cross bun.
Hey man, you're coming up against. I don't want to be rooting for a Newcastle clean sheet. At the end of the day, I'm like, nah. I can see United scoring, and I hope they score. So therefore, it shall manifest.
I hope it's not Highland though.
I hope it is, because the lad could do it a Premier League goal.
Well, he's in my fucking bench now because I brought in Mbuemo, haven't I?
Yeah, but sure, wouldn't you rather have it on the bench there?
I'd love it. But I mean,
Yeah, but either way, back to what we were talking about, like, bit of a makeshift defense, but I still have Matty Cash in there away to Bournemouth. You're also...
Solanke's coming for him this week.
So that's the thing. Like, I really... Like, what it is, he's probably been the most disappointing player I've held this season, if I'm being honest, in the sense of just the timing of when I brought him in and his output. I think I've had him since I wildcarded in 8, and it's literally just been nothing since...
Well, you would have got a return off him in game week 10.
Oh, brilliant. He got me fucking 5 points, is it?
Yeah.
So what you're saying is he got a clean sheet and still didn't get the 5 points. Or is it 6 points?
Well, you've had him for 5 game weeks, so you've got 5 points out of him in game week 8
I think it's
10.
been 6. I think I wildcarded into game week 8. So that's what I'm saying. I think it's been 6 blanks now. And... yeah, I think he did come off at half-time this week, himself and Diaby. So, I'd be a little worried if I owned both of them.
He's going into a horrific run of fixtures.
That's the thing. He's also going to... But this week isn't really one of them. Away to Bournemouth.
This is his last hurrah, basically.
I think so. And maybe I buckle it and put Lascelles in there at the end, but we'll see how the week plays out. But then in midfield, I've got Gordon, Salah, Cap. That's the big one. I've gone Salah, Cap, Saka at home, in Mbuemo, and then Son away to City. So I think I'm happy enough with the midfield. I hope, again, Gordon isn't going to fucking tear strips of us, but his home form is electric this season.
Yes.
Electric, Anthony Gordon. So just to call out, like, his last home matches. So 13 points at home to Chelsea, 7 points at home to Arsenal, 8 points at home to Crystal Palace, 5 points to Burnley, 5 points to Brentford, 10 points at Liverpool, and 4 points at Villa. He hasn't blanked at home this season, attack and returns wise.
Wow. That was some transfer.
Yeah, again, he almost the opposite of Cash. He's over-delivered in what I expected out of him. And, delighted. So I'm happy to keep him in there at home to Man United. He's guaranteed to start, I'd imagine, depending on what happens. But plenty of backups on the bench, and then up front, Haaland and Watkins. I guess the big thing out of my team there, Paddy, you might have seen it or heard me, but Salah, Cap.
Yeah, that's a big one. You're going against the Haaland again.
I am. Salah at home, like we're talking about Gordon. Salah at fucking Anfield has an insane record as well, so I don't get it. I mean, to me, I do expect Haaland to do the biz. I think City will probably beat Spurs quite easily compared to maybe how it would have gone if this match was held last month, just considering Spurs' injuries and recent form. So I think City will put him to the sword fairly quickly, and there could be a few goals in it. But it is fucking a team pushing for a Champions League spot this year, and we've seen what they've done to City in the past. Do you know what I mean? So I've no issue. I think Salah is a much safer bet, and yes, I'm sure effective ownership will tell me different at the end of the game week.
You just go where your gut. That's what I do, Ger. And look where I am. I'm 5 million.
Yeah.
Speaking of captaincies, I have the captaincy as well sorted for this week.
Okay, who have we got with?
And I've gone with Mbuemo.
Home to Luton.
Yeah, home to Luton. I was just looking at Mbuemo stats as well. His last 2 games were Arsenal and Liverpool.
Yeah.
And he blanked. His 3 games before that were West Ham, Chelsea, and Burnley. And he scored 14 points, 13 points, and 5 points, respectively.
Yeah, sure, don't I know? I got him out in Game Week 8.
Imagine. So, that's a good captaincy shout, I think.
I think it's a great shout, yeah. I think, Brentford, I think, if memory serves me correct, they lost to Arsenal at the weekend. They lost quite heavily to Liverpool in the last 2, so they'll be looking for a result. And at home to Luton, Luton don't travel well. I know they're not, a laughingstock by any stretch of the imagination, but it seems to be pretty much home versus away for them. Something that we didn't really see for a couple of years because of the whole COVID situation. Yeah. But that's settled in now the last season or so, and I think Luton are very much a home team, so Brentford could absolutely smash them. I think Mbuemo was a great shout, especially because you don't have Salah, so you're... Yeah,
exactly, and and like we were saying as well, that it doesn't feel like it has to be perma captain Haaland every, he's still doing his thing, but I mean, like when these opportunities arise where the captaincy is going to be split anyway between Hounds, Salah's, maybe.
I'd be more worried about Salah this week, just because
me
you
too.
don't
I don't
home
have
at all.
Salah, so I'm like, fuck it, and Buemo it is.
And he's 50% owned, I think, Salah at the moment, in and around that. I don't know what the effective ownership is, but like, there's a chunk of players have come on to him, and of course, like we've already been praising him all evening. Like, why wouldn't you be looking at him? But their next three, Liverpool do look tasty. Do you have Tsimikas?
No, I don't. That could be my my cash move next week.
Yeah, we'll see. We'll see if he keeps his place. I wonder when Robson's
you see, it's the fixtures that are horrible for cash, but it's just not an exciting transfer. Like, because I can probably just start benching cash and playing Udogie.
Yeah, not this week. I don't think against City.
Yeah, no, not this week. No, but I'll be looking at, not this week, no, but I'm going forward.
Yeah.
But I will be looking at a few other things in mind. Like, I have that Isak itch. I kind of feel like I want a piece of that.
Yeah, I think you're gonna need, like, just looking at your team logistically, regardless of player picks. I think you're gonna need to take money out of some players, because you have a very expensive defense right now. Trippier, Gabriel, Udogie, Cash, they're all high 4 points.
Yeah, I wouldn't even mind like taking some money out of Trippier.
I thought about that a while ago when I was looking at your team, but then I don't know. Looking at the,
he is a wee bit.
Say it. Sorry.
He is 50% owned too, so he's like my. A lot of people that have those other big guys, like the Salahs, the Haalands, and the Sons, don't actually have Trippier, so he's like my wee kind of shining knight, if you could say.
I think, like, we talked about rotation and stuff, and while I don't doubt that he'll, every player is going to miss one match. That's kind of the way it is, but I think he's, in terms of 90-minute players, like, he's at the top of the list, isn't he?
Yeah,
in terms of 90, like, starters, I should say, as opposed to 90-minute players, because he does have a habit of taking them off with 10 minutes left. But their issues at defence at the moment are well documented, so I think his position is pretty safe. And if you look at Newcastle's fixtures, like, rough one, well, potentially an okay one this week at home to Man United, but then, like, away to Everton solid, away to Spurs, home to Fulham, away to Luton, home to Forest. That's their fixtures turn.
Yeah, no, they're good.
So I mean, I'd be looking at the likes of turning Cash or Udogie into someone that you can, just chunk away another $500,000 and $1 million into your bank now, because you did just spend most of that 3.5.
I still have a 1.2 million in the bank now at the moment. So
yeah, so I mean, if you lob another 0.5 onto top of that, you got yourself a potentially game-changing transfer, somewhere down the line. But that's all the fucking future. Let's try and just get through game week 14 first, Paddy.
Yeah, you're right. Let's get through it. Before we head on, I just want to go the ins and outs with you. Let's see how you do. Top transfers out this week. You know what happens when you feel you're gone.
Yeah. Transfers out. So players, Matty Cash, he has to be up there.
No, you're gone.
What?
Madison's 5th most transferred out
this week.
Alvarez. Yeah.
Who fucking still has Madison?
I know. Alvarez, 4th most transferred out. Son, the 3rd most transferred out player. And Bowen, 2nd, and Matoma. Interesting there that Son is one of the most transferred out players whenever he's not injured. Like, the other 3 players, Matoma, Bowen, and Madison, are injured. And of course, Alvarez, who we were talking earlier about kind of being a luxury pick, people are already starting to move him out. So, what's your thoughts on that?
Son one surprises me. I think, again, fickle FPL managers. Maybe it's the last bastion of those holding out against, or getting Salah in. Maybe they're turning Son into a Salah, because there will be a lot of people looking at that. I mean, I didn't look at the captaincy options in game week 18, but Spurs at home to Everton, that's a good fucking game for Son. And then Salah's at home to Liverpool, so Son's okay.
Interesting.
I guess for me, Son's going nowhere.
Yeah, you were saying that you're happy with them.
Yeah, I mean, like, look at the chances. Like, we could have talked about how much fucking offside Son had this week, and I captained Son and I got unlucky. I mean, on another week, that's a massive haul for him, and no one's talking about this, and no one's transferring him out. So, I don't know, crazy.
No, everyone's transferring them out.
No, I mean, on a different week, but yeah, at the moment.
Yeah, no, 100%. Oh, yeah, I get you. Right, so, top transfers. And this week, they are kind of tricky, but, I mean, you should start off well.
Top transfers in Mbumo.
Yes,
All right,
second.
boom. He's second.
Yeah, second most transferred in player. And I'm going to give you a hint. There's 3 players transferred in from the one team.
Jesus. Is Saka?
Yes.
So then I'm going to guess that one team is Arsenal. And then I'm going to go Gabriel.
No. Saliba at 5th, Saka in 4th, Zinchenko in 3rd, and Buemo in 2nd, and Gordon in 1st.
Jesus, man. How do people have these wacky spare transfers to just be like, I'll go Zinchenko? Do you know what I mean?
I know.
But look, I don't think we maybe give Arsenal enough credit in terms of you have Gabriel, so you probably don't realise how much I feel I'm missing out by not having him.
Yes.
So like I'm tempted to go -4 this week. I didn't discuss that on the pod, but I could just go cash to Gabriel. I think I have exact money to do it, but I also think maybe I can take a drop or something. So I'm debating just going boom, cash, Gabriel.
Well,
get
like
some
who can you bench instead of Cash if you really don't want to play Cash?
It's not that I don't want to play him, because I would play him. I mean, I could play Anderson, I could play Lascelles. It's more that I've no Arsenal fucking defence, and they're the best defence in the league, I think. You know, they're up there, you know what I mean? So that's kind of freaking me out. I don't like going -4 for defender, but I feel like I bit myself on the ass last week when I made that Mitoma move, and I just got to accept that was a -4 incoming. But maybe I hold off a week. But I do think Arsenal are a team to fucking lace into in terms of defensively. Like, not everyone has them. Do you know? Like I don't have them. I've seen a few people that don't have, because Gabriel was dropped and kind of blah blah blah. And I think Saliba just seems so expensive to me. I'm shocked that he's in the top 5 transfers in.
Yeah, I actually was listening to the Cheaters today. They did a great pod, but they were raving about Saliba. Raving about him.
Were they?
Yeah, I think so. Maybe.
Okay.
Yeah.
And what were they saying?
Just
allegedly, what were they saying?
Allegedly that Saliba was the Arsenal guy to get in.
Well, yeah, I guess in terms of rotation proof, like he's that price for people are paying that price for a reason.
But I'm quite happy to have Gabriel. I mean,
yeah, I mean, I hope I think he's pretty much fucking, 80% guaranteed to start every fucking game, and then he'll obviously get the odd rotation. We'll see because I think Arsenal are going to be. I think they can qualify tonight, out of the group, so
right.
or tomorrow night, whenever they're playing. But like, I think if they can qualify, then you've got an easy week break there for Gabriel, like a midweek break for Arsenal, and rest him. So that could, lessen the blow of a rotation risk. So we'll see. But Saliba is definitely the premium pick, and if you're fucking rolling in dough, that's the one to go. But yeah. Anything else from me before we wrap up? The cat is meowing at me. Just like I said, didn't I say 45 minutes, Paddy, at the start of the show?
Yeah.
It's 48 minutes now, and he's screaming outside
wow.
the window.
Well, just look, it's an early kickoff Saturday, December 2nd. It's 1:30 is the deadline.
Oh, it's a late kickoff.
Sorry, it's a late kickoff, but 1:30 is an early enough deadline. It's a tricky one. You could easily.
It's literally not. It's literally later than 90% of the deadlines this season.
Well, 1:30 is the deadline. Fuck you.
This is why you're 5.5 million. Fuck's sake.
Oh my god. Yeah, Saturday 1:30.
All right, where can people find you on the social?
FPL Viking _ at Twitter, and the Viking Dippers on Instagram. I'm doing Movember this year, so I have a couple of links and stuff up if you would like to donate. It's nearly over. I've got 1 day, 2 days. I've raised over €2,000, so I'm really happy with that. It's going to Men's Health Ireland.
You've been not just growing a mustache, though. You've also been dipping your knackers in ice cold water every morning.
I've been getting up for work. I've been getting up at 7 a.m. every morning and taking an ice bath. And I sit in there and I have a little chat with my Instagram followers, and I do a plug from the tub for whatever's going on and stuff.
Your wife deserves a medal. That's all I'll fucking say about it. Your wife deserves a fucking medal. I couldn't be dealing with it. But I will put all the links in the description below. So if you can support him, let's do it. It's all for good cause.
Thank you.
If you want to reach out to the show, it's at FPL Hangover. The email address is also in the description and stuff. Please, everyone, enjoy game week 14, and most importantly, God bless.
God bless.